Hey YouTube, coming at you today with a response to Inglorious Betta's challenge for us to follow baby fry in our tanks and to post daily videos on them. I know Bob's trying to with his aquarium adventures. I'm probably not going to be as successful at it as he or her. And by the way, I'm really enjoying them. But I thought I'd do a feeding frenzy of brine shrimp. Occasionally I give frozen spirulina enriched brine shrimp as a treat for the fish in my tank. And I thought that maybe feeding them would allow you guys to see how these Teleocichla juveniles that I have in my tank are doing. So basically I hold the frozen cubes in front of my wave maker and allow them to melt. And the ensuing feeding frenzy of my fish should give us a chance to experience a little bit of how the Teleocichlas are doing. Get a little lower here. Looks like I've got some glare. They are starting to fatten up a little bit. They are becoming highly accustomed to my tank. They have pretty much figured out where all the plecos are hiding. And they're fitting in as much as cichlids will fit in. Cichlids, when they're young, they understand that they're not capable of bullying too many other fish because the other fish are bigger, but as these cichlids gain mass, they're going to begin to bully other members of this tank. You can probably see that the cyanobacteria is again rearing its head. I'm watching Bob's. Let's see if we can get these tetras feeding. I've been watching with interest Bob's attempt to use erythromycin on his 40-gallon. My problem with that is that I've got 110 gallons here. And I did go out and buy a pack of erythromycin, but I had intended for it to be used in my 20-gallon hospital tank, which unfortunately is no longer my hospital tank. The only tank I've got left that I'm going to set up as a hospital tank is the 55 that my wife's 75 is going to replace in the dining room. But back to these Teleocichlas, they're really what are the right words to use? They're really beginning to be home in this tank. You know, it takes fish a while when you switch them up, and especially juveniles. It takes them a while to become comfortable with their surroundings, where they understand where they can hide, where they can flee to, who's in the tank with them, what their fellow tank members are doing towards them and to them. It's really been interesting. Come here, Lizzie. My tiny Maine Coon cat making her appearance. Her dish is up on this settee because the dogs will eat it if it's down on the floor. So I put it up on the settee, and of course every time I film, she's got to come make an appearance. I've noticed that these Teleocichlas tend to disappear when I'm doing water changes. A lot of the fish seem to relish the water change, but the Teleocichlas mainly just look for food items in the water column stirred up by the water changes, but they tend to stay back out of the way. And although they are bottom fish in the sense that they normally stay at the bottom, I've noticed them congregating where my plecos hide. One of my plecos hides right in the center of the screen underneath the large piece of wood, and almost every time I come in and check the tank, one of those Teleocichlas is up there with that pleco. I don't know whether it's a domination attempt or whether it's just curiosity that forces them to behave in that way. They seem to like to pester the Teleocichlas. I've also noticed that these Teleocichlas, they don't have very large finnage. Their ventral fins, while the largest of their usable fins, I suppose you could say, are the fins that they do most of their swimming and directional swimming with. They use their tails very expressively. If one of the Teleocichlas is approaching another in one of these little hollow places underneath these rocks that are on sand, the Teleocichla that is quote quote guarding their territory will slap the sand with their tail and make a little puffs of sand come up. They seem to really be enjoying the sand. One has cleared out a little hollow spot underneath this large bottom rock in the very center, and the way they use their tails to clear the sand, to dig, they are very expressive with their tails in the way they curl them. If I approach the tank, I've kept large cichlids so long that I know how cichlids will respond to you looking directly at them and shaking your head up and down, which is a very cichlid-like behavior that they will respond to it. A large Dempsey, a large Dovi, a large Jaguar will all do that, shaking their head up and down motion. And if you approach the tank and shake your head up and down like that, they will respond to it. These little Teleocichlas respond to it by curling their tails. They don't shake their heads up and down so much, but they curl the way their tail is couched very, very strongly. It's really been remarkable to me how expressive they are with their tails. Alright, YouTube, looks like we've just about cleared the spirulina frozen brine shrimp. So I'll close this video, and I'm going to try to keep up with these updates. Good luck, YouTube.